Hello from the Closet Quilter. I just wanted to show you things I've learned so far with this needle turn. This is the needle turn block that I'm working on. I used several different methods. I'm still learning all the methods, that you can do this needle turn applique, that you can do for applique. I've decided what I don't like is raw edge and or the using fusible interfacing. I didn't like that. I like the Lori Holt method of non-fusible interfacing, and then you turn the piece. But it has to be a particular size, has to be large enough to turn. So for this pattern, I started off with the Yoko Saito flower and kind of made it my own. I increased it about 185, I think. So the pieces were big enough to turn. So these pieces are from Yoko Saito's applique book. I love her patterns for flowers. And I also got a flower pattern book here somewhere. Anyway, so again, back to the methods. What I did was, these are Lori Holt. Oh, this is Lori Holt. This was Lori Holt. This was an unsuccessful Lori Holt because see how tiny that is? I ended up tearing the interfacing, but it did give it enough turn. The edges were turned enough so that I could applique it down. So I'm going to be putting French knots in there. Now this stem, I started on the stems today. This one was a rolled piece of fabric. Was unsuccessful, obviously. That is not the prettiest looking stem you've ever seen, but it is there. It was my first stem. I'll always treasure it. Then I learned, tried my hand at Yoko Saito's stem. Where is that? I have a sample here. I actually did one that was perfect. But then I wanted to do a curvy one. So I got on the internet and found some Loopty. There's a site, Loopty something or other. And she uses the 1/4 inch iron-on fusible webbing. And at the back, what I did, I'll tell you. I had an inch wide piece of fabric. I folded it in half. And then on the raw edge, you stitch down down far enough to, I kept stitching so that the width would be exactly what I wanted it to be. And then I trim, the line that I want to be the seam. I trimmed back to that and left a little bit of a seam allowance there. And then I took that piece that was like a flat tube, and I turned it so that the seam was on the back and then flattened it out. And that's what I did here. And I was able to, because it was a bias strip, I was able to pin it to where I wanted it. And I stitched down the top, and the rest of it will follow. So I stitched that side down, and I'm going to stitch this side down, and I should have a pretty nice wiggly line bias one, right? And if I had used matching thread, this would not be a problem. But of course I didn't. So my big tip is use matching thread. So this will look really nice. And I'll stitch this piece down. And then I'll do some more stuff. Maybe I'll do some more vines. Maybe I'll come up with some leaves. I'll look around for some patterns for leaves from the flower book that I just got. Anyway, it's coming along nicely. And if I have a gentle curve, I can use Yoko Saito's style for, what do they call it? A gentle curve. Anyway, she's got video up about how she does her elegant curve, an elegant curve. It's wonderful. Anyway, that's what I'm up to today. Hope you're having a great quilting day. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching The Closet Quilter.